Today in the Woodyard, we're gonna split and we're gonna cut. Here we go. Well, yesterday when I was here, I ran out of time, did too much talking to people, and I didn't finish this little bit back here, so I'm gonna finish that today. But the problem is it's warming up so much, like right now it's probably in the upper 40s and it's been like that for a few days, that I've got a big puddle down there, you can see. I don't want to be standing in that while I'm splitting, so I got to back the splitter up and I got to chuck those rounds over here so I don't have to dance in the water while I'm splitting. There's not that much there, so it won't take much. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And then my other idea that I got for today is, I'm going to go up here and I'll show you what's happening. This little tree right here, this little tree right here, that little tree right there, and then the tree down in the end here. These are all ash trees. And you might have noticed, if you look close here, if I lift the camera up, look what's happening. See the holes? It's all full of woodpecker holes because the tree is dying. It's got emerald ash borer disease, so all these are dying. So I'm going to cut them down now, get them cut up, throw them into a pile, drag the brush away, and get them cleaned up. I kind of wanted to do that anyway because these trees, I planted them way before I started doing firewood, and they just create shade, and I want the wood to get sunlight so that it dries faster. So I'm going to do that. And then if I get time, I might even go down in here, and some of these box elders that are leaning over the wood piles, I might cut a couple of those down too and get those out of the way. So basically I'm just opening things up. We'll see what I get done, but that's what's going to happen. So here we go, time to work. I got the rest of the rounds chucked over here, and so the splitting is going to begin. And I had to move some of the wood I had up here too so I can get the splitter out of here, because I got to be able to get the splitter to other wood I'm going to cut. This wood that's right here in this pile is all the stuff that's totally dry that I've been just chucking into a pile because I can sell that right away without even having to stack it. So there's quite a bit I got, because I already sold a pile about the same size from this same load already of stuff that was dry, that was down over that way. So I got it all cleared out. So now I can actually do some work. So here we go, splitting time. Once again, it is voiceover time, and I thought what I would talk about today is just splitting techniques and kind of how I read the wood when I'm splitting it and why I do what I do when I'm splitting. Obviously get a big chunk like this. I try to get it into quarters and I shove them off to the side, and then I split it into smaller pieces. And a lot of times what I'll do is, obviously try to aim it so that I'm getting, quarters on every split as much as possible, even on resplits. Like that piece right there, I got my wedge up high enough that the piece just needed to be split in half again, and I've got it's maybe 4 or 5 inches from the bottom of the splitter to the table, so you get about a 4 or 5 inch piece like that one right there, so it goes underneath, and then I just get 2 separate pieces that I can chuck off. And there's another one that's going to go right underneath it too, so I kind of had a a few pieces there that were just a little bigger than what I want. Now, a question that comes up all the time is why are my pieces the size they are? Some guys think they're too small, some guys just wonder why. I'm selling to primarily people that are heating. They're not heating, they're just having a fire in the fireplace. They're not heating with wood. 95% of people I sell to, it's for a fireplace or it's for a backyard fire pit. They just don't want real big pieces. The vast majority of people that I sell to, they tell me the fire in the house or in the fire pit is kind of like the wives thing, and they don't like the big monster pieces. Now, when I first started doing firewood, I had big pieces. So I split them down a little smaller now, and everybody comments all the time that they love the size of the pieces, and it works really well for them. So there you can see I did a split and then a resplit on the same piece. And yeah, I get some slivers and some small kindling pieces. And what I do is when I'm stacking it, I take all the kindling pieces and I put it into 5-gallon buckets, and then when I go to deliver to someone that has a large order, I'll give them a free bucket of kindling, basically. Now the last one you saw me throw back over my shoulder to the other pile, that's because when I split it, I could tell on the inside it was very dry and it did not need any further drying in the wood pile, and that I can sell right away, so that's why I did that. So I'm just resplitting some of these down and getting them into smaller pieces. Now normally I let it fall off the end of the table, but I want to kind of keep this wood over behind me there because that's where it's going to be stacked. I want to put more wood where the splitter is. So now we're going to speed things up a little bit. We're going to go a little quicker here. So here we go. Well, I got this all sharpened up, ready to go. So the first tree I'm going to cut is this one because it's got a real good lean that way. It'll drop right into this opening. And then the one that's right over here, I'm going to drop. It wants to go this way, but I'm going to drop it that way. So they're kind of together. And then these back here, I'll go get those later on. But first we're going to cut this bad boy right here. So here we go, cutting time. This tree is leaning this way quite a bit towards my right here, and I want it to go that way. So, and I got a narrow hole to fit it through here because I want to get it right between this wood pile here and that wood pile there. So I try to drop it right there. So it's not a big tree, so it shouldn't be a problem wedging it over there, but you never know. So here we go, cutting time again. all she wrote. Well, I just cut down the last little tree. I dropped it over the top because I wanted to drag the branches all the way past all this. So there was a tree right here, there was a tree right there, there was a tree down there, and then one way down by that tall pile. I just threw the branches up and over the top here so that I can drag them. I've been dragging them back into my low spot back here where I did this other one. And so I just chucked all the rounds here. I got a bunch more back there I got to get yet, but it probably won't even be a face cord, so it's not going to be much wood, but at least now it's all opened up. So now I got all open sky here because that was creating a lot of shade. Plus the trees were bad, as you can see them. And if you look here, these are all woodpecker holes here, and the tree was starting to die off. So being that they're ash trees, I know they're going to die anyway, so I figured just get rid of them now, and that way it's done. So now I'm going to drag branches. That's the fun part. Ooh. It's breaking up. Water's flowing. It's the first time I've seen water run here where it hasn't been froze over. It was all froze over till just like 2 days ago. So the water's starting to run, which means spring is springing. I'm going to go down by the other spot over here where I've got a couple of rock dams that are here too. So I got all the cutting done for today, so I thought I'd go for a little walk. The snow is getting down to where you can walk around pretty easily now. It's just that slushy kind of heavy wet snow, but it's melting. Here's the little pool of water I have here with the dam. In the summertime, when we get a good 2 inches of rain, the water will be all the way up to like where that chair is up there, and just like a raging river through here. And we get a heavy rain because this all is drainage from the airport, so it comes fast. But this is about what it looks like most of the time in the summertime and spring and fall, but it's starting to run, so that's a good thing. So I think that is it for today, folks. No more cutting, no more wood, and I'm quitting for the day. So that means you're gonna poke some buttons. That's all you gotta do is do your finger thing. Do the poke, hit the like, subscribe, write a comment, tell me how much work I do without a tractor. Whatever you want to write, I don't care, just write something. It all helps. So tomorrow I'm going to be back in the Woodyard, and you're going to be back here because this is a fun place to be, and we'll do some more work tomorrow. And between now and then, get outside, do some cutting, and say goodnight to Irene for me. Good night, Irene.